Hi, I'm Bernice and I have a 6-year-old Singapore Special called Gigi. I adopted her about 4 years back, and at the time I was 17 years old, so I was still a student. Yeah. I've always loved pets since I was young. I've always wanted a dog, and I've always asked my mom whether I could have a dog, whether we can have a family dog, and her answer was always no. I just took her answer first, but as I grew older, when I was 17 years old, I thought that, oh, I'm an older adult now, I can, make decisions. So I started scrolling on Instagram and looking at different welfare organizations. I wanted to adopt because I felt that shelter dogs are very poor thing and they all deserve a second chance. That resonated deeply with me, so I thought that I want to adopt. So then I came across this organization who has this dog who is under foster care, and I fell in love with her on her IG page. So basically the fosterer had an IG page for her, and I saw her there and I fell in love with her. I talked to the fosterer and she told me that this girl is sweet, she's loving, she's very easy to take care at home, and then I just I want to meet her. So I brought my family down. It took a lot of convincing, but my mom gave in to me and she was like, okay, let's just go and take a look and view her. And I remember feeling so excited. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm finally going to be able to get a dog. After about 3 visits with her, I think I had a heart-to-heart chat with my mom. Us, a family, we brought my mom out for dinner, and they were like, Mom, we have decided we are going to get a dog. Luckily, she said okay, but this is going to be your responsibility. And then my family, we all agreed, me, my dad, my sister, and that's when we decided, okay, we are going to adopt Gigi and bring her into our home. So the impression that I had of pet ownership was I really focused on the positive side. I'm going to have a companion, a best friend with me, even though I have my sister at home, but I hate her sometimes. So I will have this dog who is my best friend and my companion. And I would get to bring her out for walks, play with her, feed her, bonding with her. My impression was that pet ownership was going to be fun and it's going to bring my life a lot of joy. After I got her, my impression has definitely changed. I am a first-time pet owner, so I've never had any prior experience. And I think I realized that pet ownership, it's a journey, and it can be a very, very challenging journey because you never know what might happen. There are certain obstacles that will happen, be it medical issues, or for us, it was her behavioral issue. It was a really long and difficult journey for us, which also put a lot of pressure on us as a family, which I felt that is something that I was not prepared for, I was not expecting. And so all the hard work that we put into her and taking care of her as well is something which my impression of that has changed because it really takes a lot of effort. Yeah. So actually when I was first introduced to her, the fosterer did tell us that she is not very friendly with other dogs and she is very cautious about strangers. And so from then I kind of had this understanding that, okay, I'm just going to avoid dogs on my walks, or, I'm not going to be inviting a lot of people into my home and stuff, so it'll be fine. I had that mindset in which it was going to be simple, I can just avoid. But after she came into our home, about 1 to 2 months later, I realized that there was more to meets the eye. What the fosterer told me was just very surface level, but actually there was a lot more deep down beneath the surface that I was not expected for. So basically she has aggression issues, which stems from fear and insecurities. So she basically lunges at other dogs. The moment she sees them, she is in this state whereby I want to attack that dog. I am scared of what that dog is going to do to me, or I don't want the dog to be near my owners, my humans, and she will start being in this frozen state where she will stare at that dog. And if I try to touch her or snap her back to reality, she will bite me, which was something that I was definitely not expecting. It has happened before when she has bitten me, and I just felt what am I doing wrong? I'm just trying to help you, but there you are, you will just bite me. Even though I know that it's just an instinct and she doesn't mean it, but it hurt a lot. And at home as well, she was pretty territorial with my mother. And as I mentioned already, my mom wasn't very on board with having her in the house, and she started to attack my mom. And my mom would be very scared of her, and sorry. Yeah. Yeah, so at the time, I felt very alone because, as you mentioned, like I was the one who wanted to bring her into the family, and I felt that it's on me that we were not prepared basically, and then I'm putting all this like stress on my mom because she's the one who stays at home with Gigi a lot of the times when we are out studying and working. So I really felt that we weren't prepared, and I was at a loss as of like what to do next. I basically did a lot of research online. I was Googling non-stop, but the conclusion that I had from Googling was that you can't get your answers from Google. They just give you very surface level training tips and stuff, which doesn't really help because I've really tried them. I have engaged trainers to try and help her and assess her, positive reinforcement trainers and all, which didn't help her basically. They just told me that, oh, okay, just avoid other people, just avoid dogs on their walks and stuff. And I was just like, are you kidding me? I'm already doing that. It's not helping at all. And I spent a lot of money on these trainers. So I think during the whole process, it was just very stressful. Even things like which I thought was joyous, like bringing her for walks and stuff, I didn't want to do it. I was scared because what if I see another dog? What if she lunges at people on the streets and stuff? My biggest fear is really that an accident happens and she gets a complaint and she'll have to be taken away from us. Yeah. As a family, we were determined to work through it together, which I'm very, very thankful for. But there were times when like she would attack my mom, and then my mom would tell me like, if she keeps doing this, we should have to give her up. And that was always in the back of my mind, because I didn't want to lose her. So previously we had engaged quite a few trainers to try and help to assess her and help her. Basically, the welfare organisation which I adopted her from recommended this particular trainer to us, saying that she's pretty good with dogs. And Gigi is a Singapore special. I live in a HDB apartment, so she needs to be under this scheme called Project Adore. And under this scheme, she has to pass an obedience test. So this trainer was a positive reinforcement trainer. She was very nice. She believes in rewarding good behaviours to be able to cultivate the proper mindset. So we engaged her for 2 sessions, private sessions, and basically we got nothing out of it. She just told us that, okay, just walk her, and then when you see a dog coming, get her to sit, give her a treat, and then just keep spamming her with treats at that time. And then once the dog passed, then you guys can move on with the walk. So that's what we did, but there was no significant improvement. It was just like coping with the situation, and it was stressful at times because sometimes she doesn't even want to take the treat from me. She just wants to go to the dog, and I'm just at a loss. Like, I paid money for this trainer to teach me how to train my dog, and yet I'm just here trying to spam her with treats in hoping that she will not lunge at the dog. So to me, it didn't make sense, and then we didn't continue the sessions with her. I did engage with other trainers as well, whom I think we chanced upon. And now I'm like very happy to say that she's not 100% like okay, but she's doing a lot better. We are able to take her out for walks and excursions and outings without having to fear that she will accidentally hurt somebody or another dog. And I can also visibly see that she's a lot happier. She loves that we can take her out and all, and we don't have to live in like fear of like staying at home, being cooped up because we are afraid that she might do something. So something that I would have done differently would be that I would look at different trainers before deciding on a particular one that I would like to engage. Previously, I didn't do that. I just based off of recommendation from the animal welfare organisation. But if I did my homework and my due diligence and all on searching for a right trainer, I could probably have found a trainer earlier, a trainer that could really understand my dog's problems and help me and my dog work through them, rather than just going through blindly with whoever we could find because we were desperate at that time. And I think having a community really helps, because I have come to realize, like after 4 years of having her, that a lot of people also face similar issues. At the time when I first was facing them, I felt so alone, but I've come to realize that I have this support community with me, and they have gone through this, they understand how I feel, they understand the fear And having them give me advice and we can talk through things together has been really helpful. I've also found that now that I have gone through this, I'm able to help other pet owners who might be going through similar issues with their pets. And that's what I'm doing. I'm very open to sharing with whoever wants to hear my story and how we helped Gigi, and also give tips and tricks on how they can help with their own dogs. My advice to people who are looking to adopt a dog is to do your research, understand the breed first and foremost. Singapore Specials can be pretty unpredictable, and some of them live on the streets that have trauma from the past and which have led to undesired behavioral issues. So you really have to understand the temperament of the dog and be sure that you're willing and ready to commit and work through the issues together with your dog. For me, the 3 words would be journey, exhausting, but rewarding. Yeah. I think that pet ownership is a journey that has its highs and lows, but ultimately if you stick through it, it is the most rewarding and fulfilling journey that you will ever be on.